It's my life, take it or leave it, set me free. What's that crap? I know it all. I got my own life, you got your own life. Live your own life and set me free. Mind your business and live my business. You know everything, Papa know it all. Very little knowledge is dangerous. Stop forgiving me, stop bothering me, stop forgiving me, stop forcing me, stop fighting me, stop yelling me. It's my life. It's my life. It's my life, my boy. 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 It's my life. Do you understand? I live the way I want to live. I make decisions day and night. Show me signs and good examples. Stop telling people how to run your business. Take a trip to east and west. You find out you don't know anything. Everybody's getting tired of you. Sometimes you have to look and listen. You can even learn from me. Little knowledge is dangerous. It's my life. It's my life. It's my life, my boy. 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 It's my life. Set me free, so you beg, so you lie. What you see is what you get. Listen to people and saw things I do them no more. Things I say them no more. Changes come once in life. Stop forgiving me, stop bothering me, stop forgiving me, stop forcing me, stop fighting me, stop giving me, stop telling me, stop seeing me. It's my life. It's my life. It's my life, my boy. 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 It's my life. 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 It's my life.
Well, check mic 1 2 1 2. Is this thing on? Can you guys hear me? Happy Saturday, maybe Sunday, where some people are, like Larnie. What's going on, guys? Whoa, Lisa, it is your birthday, I believe. Happy birthday, Lisa. Lisa, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Lisa. Good. All right. Well, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm a fucking basket case. I told the girls I'm more nervous about doing this than I have been for a DJ gig. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing in StreamYard whatsoever. So I'm sure if you haven't already, you can prepare for a shit show. So, God, I feel really weird up here alone. I don't have my my salty bitch, or, well, I'm used to being a panel bitch, I guess. don't have Salty with me, but I do want to do shout outs to, of course, my Salty bitch and little Salty. We miss you tons. This just feels weird without you or me next to you. But, anyways, so I thought, since it's been quite a while, I thought for today, I named it the Dark Side Saturday series. I thought we could have a chat about Shitlord's latest shenanigans because it has been quite a while. Um, Nicole Morgan's going to come up in a bit. We're going to talk a little bit about Shitlord's latest claim that it cost him $17,000 for his first book that the family did not stop whatsoever, but can leave that for conversations. I don't even know if Nicole Morgan's even in the chat yet. Give me a sec here, guys. Well, while I'm waiting, I guess, for her, I guess I better say hello to some people. I see you guys in the chat, but I'm not even saying anything. So I said happy birthday to Lisa. I have a little something for you later. Guernsey Girl. Actually, maybe I better scroll all the way up. Are you guys laughing at me yet? Welsh Lady, I see you. Dolby's Fern. My Ella Bella is here. And, of course, Kimberly. G99. My Lizzie, of course, is here. And I think I saw that Martin D. Hen would be in the house. All right. Lady Wytch. Miss Ann Westwood, thanks for coming. Elizabeth Grogan. Paula Parkinson. Kimberly, you're sneaking in there. I already said hi to you. Angie Babe. My Nuff Nuff is here. I think I said Tamara. If I didn't already, then I say Tamara. Oh, my little guest has arrived. Grandmaster Sid Sofas. That was fun to say. Freya, you're here. Frida and Freya. And I saw Sunray. My Roberta Armour is here. Chat's here. I hope. Oh yeah, speaking of the green crystal drinks, I hope those first 50 people did get your free samples of Devil's Breath. Stop screen, stop sharing. There we go. If you didn't, let me know, and I'll take that up and make sure those that should have got some do. Free samples of Devil's Breath. SM, good to see you. Sheila's in the house. Mr. Shannonite, B-Mac, Daniel, good to see you. Sandy Blue, I love you. Suzanne is here. I guess I could probably just keep scrolling and scrolling. Well, I'm going to bring da-da-da-da.
Hey.
Hi. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Nervous as fuck. Oh, yeah. I can't there's no way I'll ever do a salty disclaimer in the salty fashion way, but if you do have sensitive ears and you don't like a lot of expletives, then this probably isn't the place for you. So you might want to get yourself out of Dodge now, because this Canadian curses.
What?
Yeah, I know.
I this is shocking to me.
Nobody knew it. So how are you?
I'm doing good. How have you been?
Yeah,
I haven't talked to you for like an hour. So
well, yeah, like literally talked, but yeah, it's been about an hour. Did you manage to get through that hour without me?
I mean, it's been hard. I stayed strong. I didn't look at the clock. I just thought, keep myself busy. So
keep the mind occupied elsewhere, right?
Exactly.
So I guess I know you're probably, are you kind of short on time there? I know you said you had some things to do.
Yeah, I've got a baby shower to get to. So
okay.
I don't want to, cut anybody off or if anybody has questions, but.
No, what we'll do is I'll do things backwards because you do have to go and I appreciate you coming. But what I was going to do is I was going to kind of go backwards and play what he had said. I'll do it after. We're going to go backwards. So we're going to start with the present time and we'll work our way back in this case. So I just want to play a quick, it's only like a 30-second
Yeah, no worries.
Of him and his latest, good old Pervy Fraud's latest claims. Have that time down that it cost him $17,000 for the first book, which he lost so much money on. Yet, I don't even want to get into this second piece of shit pamphlet that's probably never going to come to fruition, but looks
Yeah.
like it is mine. Hi, Hippie Chick 74.
Oh, hi, everybody in chat. I'm sorry.
For what?
I haven't said hello to anybody, so I was just like, hi, everybody. Sorry.
You're very rude, you know.
I know. I get that a lot.
I think I'm probably in real going to end up being more rude than you. All right, so here we have out of his own mouth. Oh God, I think I really couldn't stomach watching his Dark Side series shit again. So I really didn't watch him this week. I just couldn't. I couldn't palate him. But
Yeah.
it was either early this week or at the end of last week. I want to say the 24th, 23rd, 24th. He made this claim. Here we go.
Okay.
Our first book, The Shadow Man, is complete, and the sales weren't as great as we thought, but that was immensely due to being cancelled by the Shenan's family, and then we had to start again at immense cost. We ran up a bill of some $17,000, which we can prove, unlike other people. I could show you the receipts for that.
So there you go, $17,000. And what I think is funny is him. And I know Val, truth be told, I can't remember if she made a video or put up a community post asking him for receipts. And I have to laugh, and I don't mean it, Val, but I have to laugh because we know Alan's not going to have any receipts because we know what caused him to lose his businesses and not be able to be a director of businesses for whatever the next 4 or 5 years now was because he had no receipts to show for those businesses.
Right. So is it all right if I kind of jump in and kind of
Give her.
I just want to pick apart the whole $17,000 thing.
Please do. I know a lot of people, not just myself, but a lot of people have been waiting for this. The floor is all yours. I'm going to shut right up.
Yeah. Hey, Jen, and I don't know if you have mods in here, but you got looks like some
I
spammers.
got
Okay.
it.
So let's talk about the 17,000. So he, with his website, Wisconsin Whispers, was selling his paperbacks at $30. And they would come to people autographed. Okay. That was the original selling thing. That, and there was going to be a documentary. So he raises money, not 17,000, but he rose quite a few $1,000s. Here's what happened along the publishing process. So he starts the website and he goes on and he says, in regards to the book, he says, the book is written. It just needs to be edited, polished. I don't know if he said the word polished. That could be a word I use. And uploaded.
Doesn't sound like a word he would use.
Yeah. And uploaded. So the book's ready to go. And then he goes on to say, this is back in, I want to say July. Then he goes on to say that the documentary, we have all the right equipment. We have all the right people. We just need a little bit of help with sponsorships. And we want our community, our viewers, we want you to be a part of the process. Okay. That was the sell in July. August rolls around, right around the end of July, early August. There was a publisher that Bubbles had arranged. It's a small press is what it's called. When you have small publishers that are basically, they may publish anywhere from 6 to 12 titles a year type of thing. They're considered small press. Bubbles had a publisher, a small press in her area, and that was a gentleman by the name of Tim. Tim's business model, his publishing house, his small press, does not take money. They publish, and then they get a cut of whatever the book makes, and then you get the royalties from that book if you're, the author. So when Tim received phone calls and he found out more about what this project was about and who AD was, he pulled out of the project. So there was, I know AD has tried to stretch the truth numerous times by saying we stopped the book. All the trolls stopped the book the second that, you know, we heard he had a publisher. No, we didn't stop a book. There was no book then. Okay, you hadn't written anything. How do we know that he didn't write anything? Well, we'll get to that. So they don't have a publisher now because Bubbles is a genius. She
Sorry.
she got a hold of a vanity publishing company, and let me explain what vanity publishing is. Vanity publishing is an entity that says to you, you got a book you want to write, give us X number of thousands of dollars for this, or this, and we will publish your book, and we're going to get it in all the bookstores, and we're going to do this. There is not one vanity publishing site on the internet that ever is able to hold up to their end of what they promise. Okay? That's why anybody with a brain, not pointing fingers at Bubbles or anything, but anybody with a brain knows vanity publishing houses are no good. So, because Bubbles is brilliant, as she'll tell you, they signed a deal with that Rights Daddy vanity pub. Now, around this time, I believe it was the first week of August, and we were about, I want to say, a week out from the anniversary of the horrific, killings. We were hearing all sorts of promises. He was on live saying, oh, I've got a deal with Barnes & Noble, and it's going to be in all their stores, and, just,
Barnes
him.
and Noble, I recall.
Yes. I mean, he's brilliant, I tell you. So naturally, everybody wanted a piece of his book. Well, I contacted Rights Daddy, and I guess for whatever reason, Bubbles found that underhanded. But actually, anybody that has access to the internet can go to any website and contact a company. So just throwing it out there, Bubbles. I contacted them and they said, are you writing a book? And I said, yes, wasn't a lie. Happened to be writing a lot of them, but I didn't tell them that. And I said, I'm interested in your services. What do you guys do? He tells me that they write, actually, first, let me go back a minute because I forgot about this part, and Lizzie has the screenshots. So when I put in the online form of, contact us, would you like to hear more? I first got a text message and said, we're here to help. What do you need help with? And I'm like, well, I have a lot of questions. And then they said, can we call? And I said, absolutely. So that's how I got on the phone with them. And they told me they do everything from editing to proofreading, which is different than editing. They do cover creation. They do marketing, advertising globally. And guess what else they do? They ghostwrite. Pay attention to that because that's going to come up later. So
write it down.
So I'm talking to this guy, and I'm like, well, he asked how I heard about it. And I said, well, I'll be honest with you. I watched this guy on YouTube called Armchair Detective, but his name's Alan Vinicum. And he's like, oh, yeah. And he said, oh, are you familiar with him? And he said, yeah, we're working on a book for him. And I was like, oh, I said, I was kind of curious. I've been hearing a lot of good things. I'm kind of curious what kind of deal you have set up with him. For whatever reason, and this is the guy's fault, not mine. He chose to tell me this. He said that they had a $5,000 contract with Mr. Vinicum, and that 1,200 of it for the ghost writing had been paid.
They paid a fucking company, excuse my language. Well, no, it's not excuse my language. This is my platform. What the hell? They actually paid somebody that's supposed to be a professional ghostwriter money to write that fucking pile of crap.
Exactly.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. And
I
that's
mean, I know
why,
you're not. That was more for effect, but I figured, honestly, I figured they paid some like nobody off the street here, like, yeah, you know how to kind of write, and that's who they threw the money to. That's supposed to be a professional. Oh my god.
right. And that, well, and that's the thing with these vanity presses is that
Yeah, I can't believe
they
they paid
charge
some. Yeah,
you for
sorry. Yes,
every what?
sorry. I'm just SM's comment. They pay. That's exactly how I felt. All in cap. They
Well, and
paid.
but it's important to remember that about this ghostwriting thing because it's going to come up in probably about 10 minutes again.
Okay,
But yeah,
again,
they
I
did.
just want to make sure that I'm not making this up. They paid somebody to write that. I'm going to be even kind when I say grade 1 level, no grammar, no sentence structure piece of crap. They actually paid somebody, and how much was it?
So according to the guy, they had paid the 1,200 for the ghostwrite. And
Oh my god!
the reason that is important is because 1,200, I don't care if it's 100 pages. 1,200 is cheaper than I've ever heard of any ghostwriter ever.
Really?
Ever.
Well, I guess you
And
get
I'm
what you
talking
pay for
going
with
back
this
10
shit.
years. So it had
I think the con man got conned regardless of how much. I wouldn't have paid 10 cents for that pile of trash.
well, yeah, I mean, any vanity press cons you because that's part of the structure of what they do. However, it makes sense that they only charged him 1,200 for that because their entire business is based upon tiering of services. So, okay, we have a ghostwriter. This guy, he'll write it for you, but then we need to have it needs to be edited. That's going to cost you, X amount of dollars. So they
They
really
paid somebody else to edit that piece of crap.
well, no, wait, they didn't. So this is what I found out. This is what the guy told me, and this is where I think, or I know, they went wrong. So you basically it was a conning a con. So
I love
according
it.
to the gentleman that I was on the phone with, they paid the 1,200 for the ghostwrite, but they still hadn't paid the 3,800 they were owed for marketing and distribution. This is important.
Barnes and Noble. Write it
So
down. Write it down, study group.
yeah, so what happens is I want to go back to the very first time because remember he didn't release it the first week of the anniversary. He released it like a week or so later.
Yeah, a week
and
after.
and
It was that
Bubbles
first week of September, wasn't it? No,
maybe,
August.
yeah.
It was August 31st, I believe, or 23rd or 31st sticks out in my
Okay,
head.
yeah, maybe. I mean,
Sorry, I'm
I've
just
got,
throwing all numbers at you.
if Lizzie's in here, she would know because she's a crazy detail oriented, so she would know. I know it's in our screenshot somewhere, Jen. I would just have to go look for it all. But anyway, the very night that the book went live on Amazon.
Well, yeah, you didn't expect I was prepared for this, did you? Come on. I can't provide a shit show by being prepared.
Yeah. So the very night they were doing this, him and Chicken Lady and Bubbles, they were all on this live, and Bubbles is practically sobbing because you did it. You did it. It's up there. It's out. And it's like, oh my God, shut up. But
Remember when
anyway,
he bought that fake friggin' award for himself too, and thought he gave out like this fake speech that he was the greatest fucking thing ever?
right.
Published?
So here's what happened. So the first book, it hits, and of course, a bunch of us, myself included, snagged the book right away. I wanted to know what the F was in there because I knew it was going to be crap, but I needed to know it was crap. I just needed that self-satisfaction of knowing with certainty that it was a pile of garbage. And right away, we all know from that very first book, the spacing was off. There was a couple places Shanann's name was spelled wrong. There was just a
I think we
litany.
could have a live on its own, literally ripping that pamphlet to shreds.
Exactly. I mean, it was just crap. And that's not, and I work in publishing and I have learned a lot throughout the years. So I'm not one that ever tries to trash another author. However, you're not an author.
Well,
You
I was
didn't
just
write
gonna say, if you're
anything.
not an author, all the gloves are off.
Yeah. So that first week, and keep in mind that first night when it hit live on Amazon, it was published under Wright's Daddy, the publisher, the vanity publisher they used. but it didn't hit any other website. Not Barnes & Noble, not Kobo, not iBooks.
Going to be on the bookshelves of Barnes and Noble. No, it's
So,
not.
yeah. So, I mean, it didn't even hit Walmart's,
The bargain bin.
I mean, yeah, there's literally a million different places you could go online and self-publish your work. This told me that one, they didn't pay that remaining $3,800 they were due for the distribution because it wasn't anywhere else. It would be in Wright's daddy's best interest to put it up on as many sites as possible because they would make the most amount of money.
Well, that logically makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, something happened there. Then that night, when it still starts to, things are starting to unravel and people are commenting about all these mistakes and the bad reviews are rolling in like, clockwork.
Oh, that was all from us though, right?
Oh yeah, totally us. So that's when Bubbles and AD made, in my opinion, crucial mistakes.
Dun, dun, dun.
One, she said, the book is fine. I spent all night making sure it was perfect before it went up. Okay, well, first of all, Bubbles, you didn't put it up. Wright's daddy did. So you lied. Second of all, Idiot Stick, pervy fraud extraordinaire, says, well, that's because you're looking at the Kindle book. Haven't you ever seen a Kindle book? They all look like that. No, smartass. No, dipshit. They don't all look like that. There are millions of Kindle books out there that are just fine. It just so happens that everything that you touch turns to shit. So there was this thing for days. I want to say it went on 4 or 5 days with a second upload and a third upload. Remember all that? And every time.
Yeah, I think it what 3 or 4 going at one point there.
Right. And so the Right Daddy one was up there. And then all of a sudden you saw there was one that was uploaded with no publisher name. And then there was another one. I
remember there being like an instance or two where if you went to look at the publisher, it was like blank almost. There was nothing there.
Right. And then
I'm like, how can they get away with not having listed who the publisher is?
Right. So then they would upload another one and they put the publisher as Wisconsin Whispers.
Yes.
So it's like, then I'm getting to the point where I'm I'll be honest, just because I'm in the industry and it's fuckers like this that make our job so hard that I got pissed off and I called Amazon.
Good for you.
And I was like,
it must be almost, I don't know if this is the right word, but embarrassing to you as a writer that you've got a friggin' idiot like this trying to pull the wool over friggin' professionals' eyes that have been doing this a long time. Well, thinking that they're pulling one over on everybody.
Well, and I don't even write true crime, but I felt like it was a slap in the face to true crime writers because this wasn't anything. This was a pile of crap. This is like if you wrote a bunch of note cards studying for a test and then you threw them all up in the air and then you put them all back together in your hand and just started reading them cold. It was garbled. It was all over the place. It was just insane. Yeah. Lizzie just said it was August 23rd was when the first one hit. It was the 23rd.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I called Amazon and I said, and the big reason I called Amazon, what really, really pissed me off, and he was like, it's a Kindle book. They all look like that. Haven't you ever seen a Kindle book? That really pissed me off. Because I'm like, fuck you. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on.
Well, look at how they try to discredit you, too, with the whole, you're a trashy romance novel.
I'm like, you know what? My trashy romance novels pay the bills, honey.
And they're written by you.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, here's the thing about ghostwriters. I know some ladies that are ghostwriters and are also authors, and I love them to pieces and I respect what they do. But I've also seen some horrific stories of very successful authors who cannot write fast enough for their publisher demands. And so they hire a ghostwriter, and that ghostwriter does not have ethics, and they just steal somebody else's manuscript and change a few things around. And so I've seen people be sued So
Didn't Carolyn Cadle do? Oh, never mind.
yeah, yeah. Don't get me started there.
Carolyn Copycat Cadle. Oh, sorry. What were you saying, Michelle? I mean, Michelle Nicole. Where the
So
hell did Michelle come from? Sorry, I have no idea.
I don't know, but isn't that Bubbles' real name? Are
No,
you calling me Bubbles?
no. I was obviously. I guess I no, not intentionally. I guess that's the only friggin' because there's no Michelle. I have no idea where that came from. That was my inner self channeling to Bubbles. That that we know what bullshit she's been up to.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
No, you're good. So, um, oh, I kind of lost my train of thought. So they uploaded at one time. At one time there was a total of, and it was in that 7-day stretch. There was a total of 4 books up.
Like
And
if
I
you
was,
pulled it up on Amazon, right? You get 4 instances of it.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I kept,
because that wasn't confusing in itself.
right. And that's when I called Amazon and I'm like, look, you got this guy that's uploading all these different books. Some of them, the titles are just a little different. And, I don't want to, you and I have talked about this, Jen, privately, but I don't want to say anything too much about that publicly because I don't know how much Bubbles is still in the picture, but I'm not giving Pervy Fraud any kind of tips on what not to do. But I was telling Amazon, 4 different titles, same book, a couple pages difference, one copy may have this missing and another copy, this may be added. This one may have a different subtitle. This one may not, 3 different publishers listed. And I told them what he said about, and I played a recording of it because I recorded it because I was that fucking petty because it pissed me off. But he's like, well, that's just Kindle. Like, say that to Jeff Bezos' face, you fuckwad. So I was just like, they were like, oh, wow, this is crazy. Yeah, thank you for letting us know. And they put it to their fraud department. And I admittedly, after doing work with different publishers and being in publishing for a decade, I didn't even know Amazon had a fraud department.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Well, because why would you? I mean, you're doing everything all above board in the way it should be. Why would you even have to think about that?
Yeah, it didn't cross my mind. So
never,
it's like, okay.
It just was a non-entity.
Yeah, and so like I kind of let our community know like where we were with that. And then I noticed the Right Daddy copy disappeared from Amazon. Now, I never followed up with Right Daddy. My opinion was that because Bubbles threw such a stink that I contacted them and talked about it publicly. And she thought that was so underhanded and dirty. And I'm like,
but
really,
if you're not doing anything wrong, why would you give a shit if somebody's looking into or asking stuff about how?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the logical thing, but we're talking Bubbles here. So,
well, yeah, obviously there's some sort of shady Shaderson stuff going on for her to be upset. You're not going to have a tantrum about something if you've got nothing to hide.
Right, exactly. So I didn't follow up with them, but my guess on why Right Daddy pulled their copy is because they probably never received the rest of their payments. So they probably are like, they're not going to do any more work and they're not going to have their name associated with this product and cut their losses at the 1,200 because we knew that there was no marketing and advertising going on. The only marketing and advertising was happening on his live.
Well, yeah, it was him screaming, Barnes and Noble is going to be on the shelves of Barnes and Noble. It was all just him. Never saw or heard anything anywhere else.
Yeah, and keep in mind, like I'm subscribed to almost every reader type magazine when it comes to like magazines or subscriptions that are aimed at readers. So there is probably, I kid you not, 1,000 places they could have stuck an ad for. Some places have free ads for new authors. I saw nothing. So that's how I knew there was no marketing or ads going on. And so I thought, okay, so now they had 3 copies left.
That's because he was too busy getting the Hollywood documentary makers in line.
Well,
right?
He had to go to Afghanistan to meet with his publisher.
That's right.
I mean, he's a pretty important guy, Jen.
The Afghanistan publishers, I keep forgetting about that.
I was just like, sure, that sounds normal.
There's nothing to see here. Carry on.
So we have the 3 copies left up on the website. You know, it just as it infuriated everybody else. It infuriated me on a level that I was like, this is so not okay. Like, this
We
is
could all,
not.
I mean, all of us on the good side of things could see right through the whole thing to begin with.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. So
Like
I,
see through it like it was freaking saran wrap. Because see through.
yeah, and I would have to, I would have to ask Lizzie if she remembers, but I know it's in our messenger somewhere. I think it was about the 2-week mark that I called Amazon back to say, okay, now there's 3 copies still up. Like, what's going on? Is anything going to happen?
Yeah, because it did. It went from like there was 4 instances when you would search his name to then I think it whittled down to then there was 3 for a while.
Right, right. And so I was told the same thing again and said, thank you again for calling. It is with our fraud department. That's all I can tell you at this point. And so I'm like, okay. I mean, and I don't want to like, what people don't understand is when I say people, there was just a couple people in our community that just recently, well, I'm not even getting into that. Point is, as much as I have a relationship with Amazon and as much as I knew this was all wrong, I mean, obviously we all knew it was wrong, but I knew it was wrong more on the publishing agreement with Amazon side of it. So, but I wasn't about ready to, pester them or become like a crazy girl and call them every day and demand answers because I have a publishing relationship with them. So I don't necessarily want to become a
We don't
hindrance
want
to
to be
them.
that needy person that calls all the time that when they see your name and number come up kind of thing, they like roll their eyes before they answer.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we're not calling her.
Oh, here we go again. It's
She's
Nicole.
she's insane. So so I didn't say anything for the longest time, and I really do think that was about the 2-week mark. And then quite a bit of time passed. The 3 were still up there, and it was maybe a month later that I needed to talk to Amazon for something else in relation to my books. And so as I'm talking to them, and I was talking to my reps, so um, we've chatted many times. We're on, we have good rapport, and so we were just, and so how have you been and everything and that type of thing. And I was like, hey, well, I got you. Have you heard anything? Do you in the notes there? Have we heard anything about an update with this guy? And she's like, honestly, no. I just know the fraud department is taking care of it. She goes, but they can sometimes take a while. And I was like, okay, well
Well, they
that
do the investigation and open, ongoing investigation for real.
yeah. So I mean, it made me feel better, but I still was like, it still made me like, come on, what's going on, kind of thing. Like I need details. So I felt kind of like, yeah, I'll be honest. I felt like with some of the stuff that's happened in our community, I was like, oh, people are going to think I've been lying to him too, type of thing. Because, I'm saying, oh, yeah, it's with the fraud department, but then nothing was happening. And so I kind of had that little bit of paranoia, I guess. And so I didn't really talk about it much. And then I don't know if you remember, Jen, because it wasn't too long after that. I sent you the screenshot and I was like, they took them down.
Yes, I made that a community post. Yes, I do.
Yeah. So what basically happened is he had the 3 copies, the 3 versions of the same book up. One of the copies had the sponsors' names at the end of the book.
And if you didn't want your real name in there for fear of being trolled because of AD, you could have a chicken name.
Yeah, because that's not at all weird. And
Can you imagine being, sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just having this thought. Imagine being like somebody that has no idea who friggin' the, pervy fraud shitlord is. And they happen to just, somehow end up seeing his book on Amazon. And they like kind of like go through it and they get to the end and there's like all these chicken name, shout outs. I'd be like, what the mother hell is this?
Exactly.
And I'd put the book down and I'd step back really carefully and then run.
Yeah. So he had he had the sponsors in one, he didn't have it in another copy he would change the subtitle. Everything was just a little bit different enough
That
because
their
there's
system recognized and
yeah,
recognized it as different books, basically.
yeah. So normally what happens is when you submit a book to Kindle and or paperback on Amazon, it goes through kind of like an auto cycle thing. If you're a newer author, um, there's a little bit more involved in it, but everything was off just enough where it didn't get caught in the auto, feed cycle, whatever you want to call it.
They knew what they were doing. Bubbles.
They knew what they were doing. That's
Yeah,
the most
absolutely.
important thing I want to make clear is it was an
They
intentional.
were trying, just like he circumvents the YouTube system, he was trying to circumvent the Amazon system.
Thank you, Heidi. Yeah, she just said it was not Heidi. It's
Lizzie?
because she says Heidi Ho 4. Thank you,
See, do
Lizzie.
you see how easily, like, yeah, Heidi, see how I accidentally called you Michelle? Now I don't feel so bad. I know Lizzie is the freaking godmother of all facts, everything.
I know. I'm like, hey, Lizzie, do you remember when I talked to you about my cat wearing that one umbrella thing? And she's like, oh, yeah, that was 4:36 last Sunday.
Here, she put that up. She said that first, that you called Amazon on the 17th and then again on the 22nd and the 24th.
See, she's my I just need a Lizzie in my life to get.
You apparently have one.
I do. Well, when it comes to this stuff, I need to take a drink. So what happened was that was why those 3 were on the website or on Amazon, because he had it. They were all just different enough that it didn't get caught. And so what the fraud department did on Amazon is they looked at the books and saw, okay, how did this happen? And that's when they realized how it happened. So
they were being sneaky Dickens on purpose.
Right. And we all know now, this is so far up to this point right now, what I told you is fact. Now, this is admittedly speculation on my part. Anybody else, any other author that has any kind of a history in publishing, if they had pulled that, they would have not only all of their books gotten pulled, but they probably would have lost their publishing rights to Amazon.
I remember you telling me that.
Indefinitely. And I've seen it happen to people, and it is heartbreaking. I've seen a woman who's been writing for 15 years, not 6 months ago. Her assistant granted it was a big mistake, but she lost her publishing rights on Amazon. And when it comes to publishing, Amazon makes up about 60% of your income.
So how does shitlord get a buy then? If like you would think it's like, okay, everybody should get one, we'll say, mistake, or nobody does. Like, how does he always, just in general, how does he get away with?
Well, that's why I say now we lead into speculation, because the only reason, when I found out what happened and I called my rep, I made up a reason. I was like, hey, I had a question on my pre-order and da-da-da-da. I was like, but hey, I noticed that this guy's, a couple of his books got taken down, but he's got still one up there. She's like, oh, he's on a 90-day probationary period. And I'm like, what? Thinking, how the fuck did he get away with it?
Well, obviously Bubbles must have talked a really good fucking game.
Well, so that's what I'm...
boo-hooed to somebody, right?
Well, and that's where I say I'm speculating, but I believe it had to be Bubbles, because he can't.
Are you sorry? Are you good? I think you are, but just give me like 3 minutes. I just got to mute you. I just have to open my front door for my buddy that's dropping in really quick. You're okay? Hold the reins. I'm giving you my whole platform.
Okay, so you're muting yourself.
I'm muting myself.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I'll be right back.
So, hi everybody. My name's Nicole. I'll be your cruise director.
Whoa, what just happened there? I leave you alone for 3 seconds and we just took a drastic, massive detour turn. I'm just teasing. Off you go.
Oh, seriously, how's everybody doing? Let's see. I want to say hi to everybody I see as far back as I can go. Joe Madre. And I hate this, and I know I'm going to mispronounce your name. Shalag? I don't know how to say your name, but I love you in every chat. I know how to spell it. I don't know how to say it. London Girl, Wandering Bellberry.
Well, I didn't
Carol.
mean you had to stop talking about what you were talking about, although I'm being very rude and interrupting your hellos. I'm just going to shut up again.
Okay. um, Oliver, you tricked me with the upside down name. Timmy, Lizzie, Lady Wytch, Kimberly Faith, SM, Green Eyes, Shelly Evans, Nuff Nuff, Sunray, Jules.
I don't know if anybody saw it, but I just wanted to thank Martin Dehan for not wearing his Dame Edna glasses in here today. I really appreciate that.
His what?
Dame Edna glasses.
I didn't know he had any. He doesn't really talk to me.
He doesn't. He made a very good comparison. Do you remember when I pulled up that picture and I compared Shitlord to Dame Edna with his girly glasses?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, God Love Martin in his video yesterday at the very end, I never even noticed it. He put up a picture of the Tindler swindler who also wears Dame Edna glasses.
Oh, that's hilarious. I didn't miss that. Martin, London Girl, Happy Thoughts, Georgie Girl. Who else am I missing here? Ella Bella.
I'd like a hello.
Oh, hi, Jen.
Hi, Nicole. It's been forever.
I know.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, eh? But yeah, sorry. I mean, I didn't mean for you to stop talking about whatever you were saying about the book thing. But I mean, if you.
Well, I figured I would just say hi to everybody while you're doing that.
Well, I'm just waiting now for Buddy to come in. The door's open there. Oh, Martin, I wear contacts too. I've been blind as a bat since I was like 7, grade 2, sitting up at the front row of the class. I still couldn't freaking see, so needed glasses, big, fat, thick Coke bottle ones. Okay, give me 1 sec. Go ahead there, Nicole.
I'm going to finish saying hi to everybody. Guernsey Girl, Daniel, Stanley, Higginbottom, Martin, of course, our master. Not trying to make it weird. Angie Babe, Bedtime Clown. I think I got it. Oh, Tamara. Watching the Fake Detectives. I did. I think I got everybody. Hi, everybody. Oh, no. Gil Topping UK. Now I think I have everybody. Hello, everybody. Oh, and Michael Shaw just came here. So now that I've done all that, guess who doesn't remember? Oh, yes, I remember now where I was. So I believe, because we all know that there's a Southern lady that talks real quiet and acts like she's just above everybody. And I believe that person talked to Amazon for the pervy fraud. And I believe that's why he was given the 90-day probationary period and didn't lose his publishing rights. Because who else could put on a show like Miss Bubbles Marie herself? That's what I think happened, but I have no proof of that. What I can tell you is he still, at least as recent as, I'm going to say 2-3 days ago, has not sent out all books. There are still dozens of people waiting for books.
Haven't all the autographed hard copies? Like, I know Grumpy Granny still has not got hers. I mean, how many times has he said, I know I did a couple videos, that how many times, at least twice, he had to resend the books because apparently the Troll Worldwide Delivery Service couldn't, whatever, I guess somehow gobbled up all the books. Like, I'm wondering, did anybody who purchased a hardcover signed one even get theirs? I don't think so.
I have not heard of anybody getting a hardback. However, here's what I think people don't realize. In addition to, hey, Jess, how are you? Oh, sorry. If anybody ever sees me talking on a live or a panel and I say, hey, Jess, that's Granny's watching. I think everybody knows your name, Granny. I didn't mean to.
Is she here? Hi, Jess. Granny's
watching. She just popped in. So
Michael Shaw's here too.
Yeah,
Thanks for, you know what? I just sorry to interrupt for a second. Jess, I saw your big reveal last night and I thought that was the greatest fucking April Fool's joke ever. Sorry, carry on there,
I
Nicole.
missed it. No, you're good. I missed it. I'm gonna have to go
She
back and
cameraed up
watch it.
last night.
Oh, I missed her
She's
beautiful
really cute.
face. I know she's adorable. I mean, I don't know because I saw her but I knew she was anyway. Anywho, what was I saying? So here's the thing, what people don't realize. So in order to have that pamphlet made into a hardcover, it was about a $11 cost. He was charging people over $30 to get a signed copy. Now, whether it's nationally or internationally, there is a type of parcel that is considered book or media. So whether you're in the UK, the United States, Australia, doesn't matter. If you choose the book/media option for shipping, you can cut your shipping costs in half.
And we all know that AD loves a good bargain.
Right. So he's getting, I think it was $36 on the website in Wisconsin Whispers. He was charging, I think, $36 for the hardcovers.
Oh, that's where it was the most expensive, if I recall, right?
Right, exactly. And so $36. And then he had to, if he had, and this is another reason why I think things fell through with Rights Daddy the way that they did, is because with those types of publishing houses that are vanity presses, they will give you like 100 copies as part of your package. So he had to, instead of counting on those free copies, he had to buy them from Amazon. However, even though it looked like the hardback was like, I don't know, what is it, $28, $29 on Amazon, he doesn't have to pay that because he's the publisher. He's self-published. So he only has to pay the cost. So for that hardback that someone paid,
yeah, but for him, that's too much, right? He'd rather get everything fucking free.
So instead, when he had people pay him $36 for a hardcover signed, he only had to pay Amazon, like it was $11 and some odd change for it. And then the shipping on it, even if we're going to all the way to Australia, you're looking at another $10. It's going to take a couple weeks to get there, but you're still going to get it. And
but
you're looking.
Didn't he at one point, and I could be wrong, and definitely correct me if I am, but did he not at one point in the whole like debacle of why the books weren't making it, that he couldn't, I don't know if it was him or Bubbles, but they couldn't deliver to Australia? Wasn't that one of the last excuses he made because of COVID or something? Am I making that up or?
That was an excuse they made. I believe the real thing was that it couldn't go to Australia, but that it was going to be held up in port and wouldn't make it there.
I just remember him saying
they were
COVIDed. Remember, all the books were COVIDed.
Right. So what would happen is it would sit in port, whether that be in Hawaii or in Los Angeles, but it would sit in port and just not go to Australia until they open the borders back up for those types of shipments. So he still could have sent it and then left it up to Australia to decide when to receive packages like that again.
Sorry, I just want to interrupt for a second. Sheila made a good point here. And it's true, I never thought of that. Do you remember at one point they were talking about stuff from the fundraiser that they couldn't ship to Australia? Sandra had said something about that. You're probably right, Shelley. He probably did get that excuse that because Sandra said it. Oh, great. I'm going to use that as my excuse for why I can't get the books to them. I wouldn't put it past him for sure. He doesn't watch, right?
Oh, of course not.
Write it down.
No, only, well, you know who watches us is Bubbles. Hi, Bubbles, by the way. Bubbles Marie, you freaking piece of crap that you are.
Can we hold on 1 second? Hold on 1 second. Party till I die with my chin up high. Fuck 'em all, fuck 'em back. Carry on.
Okay. So my point in giving you the price breakdown like that is even. Huh?
I said that never gets old. I'm sorry.
The reason I gave everybody the price breakdown is even with the hardback covers, he was still in the black. He was not losing money. So if he had kept his promise for the people that ordered that on his website, he still would have been able to, he wouldn't have made a huge profit because it was a hardback and those are more expensive, but he would have been able to make it happen and would have not lost money. I need people to understand that because his whole thing has been that he lost all this money. Okay, so now let's talk about the paperbacks. People, some of them ordered the paperbacks and one of them signed. Okay, the cost of the paperback for him to go through Amazon and order it at cost was $4.36. So you paid $29.99 on Wisconsin Whisper's website for a signed paperback. It will cost him $4.36 to get that copy from Amazon. It's free to sign it, and depending upon where it's going, it could be a couple dollars or it could be $20. But he's still making a profit. So had he used the money that was earned for those books on Wisconsin Whispers and delivered all those books, he wouldn't have lost money. He wouldn't have. No matter how many different ways he tries to say that he did, he would not have. Which tells us all something we already know. Is he didn't use the money when people bought books for anything to do with the books. We know what he does. So
Poker face. Excuse me.
no shit, yeah. So we know he doesn't.
Speaking of which, Malta coming up in a month. Malta.
And also another loser coming up.
Yeah.
Because does he ever win, really? Let's be honest.
Well, if he was a big poker player winner, I mean, first of all, he wouldn't need to be on YouTube 50 times a day, 365 days a year. Getting his, non-critical thinking, vulnerable subs to pay for all of his addictions.
Exactly. So the reason I explained everything, it may seem like a lot, and if I bored anybody, I'm sorry. I wanted everybody to understand the process of what he's done, what he tried to get away with, and what happened because of it. So now we know what it would have cost to deliver the books for people that had actually ordered on Wisconsin Whispers. We know that now. However, when the fraud department pulled his other 2 books, guess what he lost? That money.
Royalties, all the royalties went bye-bye.
Instead of getting the 2,000 plus that in royalties that he made on those 2 books that were taken down, I believe because of the royalty cycle and when it was taken down, instead of getting paid that month, he would have had to pay it back, but he just plain didn't get the money. So that was an additional, and this is where I know he's going to say, well, I lost that money. No, you didn't lose it. You never had it because you were selling books off of your website. So this is just money. It doesn't, when he has a book, if I had a book and I put it up on Amazon right now and it sold 10 copies and then I pulled it and I could say, oh, well, I lost that money. I lost it. No, you didn't lose it because it didn't cost me to upload to Amazon. So he didn't lose anything by losing that revenue for those 2 books that shouldn't have been up there because it violated Amazon's terms of service. So if he ever tries to say that he lost that money, you can't lose money that you didn't have. No, but there was no cost incurred by uploading those books. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know how he's going to twist everything.
Right, but that's why I want everybody to understand, like, there was no cost. He incurred no cost by putting those extra copies up. If anything, he was trying to make more money, but he just got caught. So there was no loss there.
You got caught with your hand in the cookie jar, shit lord.
Yeah, so now we're almost at present day where he's going around saying he's lost $17,000. Well, we know the story that he said, well, the trolls, everything got lost in the post. The trolls, did this, and this. Okay, let's assume on some planet out there that yes, we control the postal service. Let's assume that.
Other universe.
Yeah. Let's assume we have that capacity and time. No, idiot. That's not possible. So stop making a fool of yourself, Alan. So in my, okay, it's 2022. So in my 12, almost 13 years of publishing, I've sent out a lot of books to readers. I've talked to a lot of authors who, and after he made this claim, I actually asked a lot of authors, in your decade or so, books being sent out, how many have gotten lost? I could not find one author that could ever tell me of one instance where they ever had to resend out a book because it was lost.
I remember you telling me that. So
It's
that says everything right there.
and so it's not that I'm coming from the mindset that, I went into it with, okay, it can happen. Of course, it's possible. It's not like, you could go drive 80 years with never getting into an accident, but there's always the possibility you're going to get into an accident. Like, everything's possible. But this nonsense of, oh, all the books, the trolls, all the books were lost. I had to resend out all. And come on, dude. Like, are you?
Well,
I don't
the
want
thing
to.
is what I guess aggravates me and grinds my gears so much. Well, I mean, there's many things, but in this regard, anyway, is that every single thing that happens to him, it's the trolls. It's the trolls that his non-critical thinking audience actually believe that he is so important, right? Because he's got the inside scoop. He knows more than he can talk about because he knows about the cover up that's covering up a cover up of the cover up of a closed solved case. Like, look at him now, right? Like last week, which is why I called him out on his bullshit that, well, maybe NK has made a deal, but at the same time she's made a deal, she's, giving dark crystal tea or the devil's breath to, like, it's part of she's also part of the cover up too. Like, it is so ridiculous at this point that I just don't understand how anybody can actually believe that he is so important when he is a nothing entity that sits in a fucking gaming chair making up conspiracy after conspiracy for almost 4 fucking years.
And it's always a matter of, no, I didn't say that. They misunderstood me, or they mistook it was like, it's like the whole, the time Tammy with CBI was in the chat, or, there's always a reasoning down the road. He'd be like, oh, I never said that. That's not what I meant. And these people believe it.
Well, look
That's
at
what
the
I don't
MI5
understand.
claim is the most recent one, right? Well, not his recent claim, because I mean that goes back to 2019. But Martin did a great job of, all along he said, I never said that, I never said that, but then shows the chat from that day. I mean, I remember that live. I remember not chatting, but I remember being in that live, and that wasn't long after I found him. And I'm like, this is absolute garbage. There's no way that a CBI, FBI, any type of law enforcement agent is going to be all like, "Hi, I'm in your chat. Go ahead, ask me any questions about a closed case." Or may have, I mean, they still actually hadn't even gone to talk to him yet, I don't think, at that point. So it may have still been considered open, so to speak. But I mean, it just, and especially with all the time that has progressed, like, this isn't back at the beginning where nobody really, other than the people that know how slimy he was from the McCann days. But now we're 4 years later. It's got to be at a point where these people, they know he's full of shit, but they feel like it. Well, the cult mentality, right?
Yeah.
It has to be. I mean, at this point, I can't feel anymore. I've always said, and I know I've said it with Hippie Love, that if I could save one sub or get one sub in all this time that I've made videos to open their eyes and realize how they're being conned and what a facade and what a piece of shit he is, then I feel like I've done what I needed to do. But at this point, I mean, other than, unless you're a brand new sub, like I don't even recognize most of these names anymore, other than like YouTube monitors, because YouTube monitors doesn't have a fucking clue what they're talking about and still can't spell Rourke correctly after almost 4 years.
Yeah. I mean, and and here's what I don't understand. And this is, I swear.
Sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent there. My apologies.
No. I swear I'm not trying to be mean to his subs when I say this. I promise I'm not. If anything, I'm looking to understand. But he's fairly illiterate. Okay.
He's completely illiterate. Let's be honest.
And I have a hard time wrapping my head around the idea that this guy that cannot construct sentences, that cannot spell, cannot work his technology.
Well, he has
Has
no problem working that technology for his online poker needs.
right, but I mean, he's just like so many examples of why he's Inspector Clouseau in true form. Why does anybody think that he is a hardcore detective that's solving a case? How can we rationalize that in our mind? That's what I have a hard time with.
Yeah.
I don't, and I'm not. I swear I'm not trying to be mean. I couldn't, if I was a sub and was watching somebody say a month or a couple weeks or whatever, and I started seeing these things, I would wonder, what the fuck? Like, there's no way. Like, I just start to second guess everything.
Well, yeah, and I mean the whole mentality, don't watch the troll channels. Like, holy fuck.
Yeah. So I want to let me because I'm sidetracking myself, but
Sorry, I probably
I
did that.
want
I
to
apologize.
I want to go back to he's lost 17,000. So the whole, all these books were lost by the post.
Sorry,
No,
give me a sec. Sorry, Anne. I'm gonna have you, if you want to come up, I'm gonna have you come back in a bit there after Nicole is done. I'm gonna kick you right now just because I don't want to leave you waiting back there, but I didn't quite want people coming up quite yet.
So the thing is, could a book or even two get lost in the post? Sure, anything's possible.
Absolutely.
But
Every single
all the
hardcover
books,
autographed one, though, yeah, how about no?
yeah. So no, I call bullshit. But I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna say $100. Maybe he lost $100 on shipping issues. Okay, I'm being generous when I say that. So he had a lot of sponsors on his website for people buying those books that they paid for. They haven't gotten them. He paid Rights Daddy $1,200. I'm being generous by saying maybe he lost out on $100 with shipping issues. So that's $1,300.
Fuck,
Okay?
he's lost more than that playing poker, so that's just chump change for him.
Right. So right now in my mind, I can account for $1,300 that I know that it's probable that he's lost. Now, that doesn't take into account the money he made on that website. And it also doesn't take into account the book that he continues to make royalties on, the one that has stayed up. So, has he lost 17,000? Hell no. And I'll tell you what, Alan Vinicum, show those damn receipts you say you have, because I know you're fucking lying. You're a crook, you're a scam, and if anything, it's your fans who lost their hard-earned money, but you did not lose anything. Because if you look at the spreadsheets of the money that he made off of that website,
Which I still have, by the way.
yeah,
I
so
still have that spreadsheet. I didn't even think about it until just now, but another time we can pull that up. I'm not going to go digging for it right now, but I do have it. It'd be interesting to pull that up again at this point.
So yeah, so when if we look at, because I know it wasn't at least a few thousand on the spreadsheets. So you spent, and I'm again being generous with the postage issue. So I know you spent about $1,300. You made about $3,000, I'm guessing, from the spreadsheet. You didn't lose any, huh?
Sorry, he made about how much? What did you just say?
I think if I remember from the last time we were looking at the spreadsheets, it was that he made a few thousand.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to know now that he can't do the documentary, because he seems to get ongoing investigations and Hollywood scripts confused with each other. Since according to him, Hollywood doesn't want to touch his evidence, script for his documentary, why is he not applying that money to his new book? That's what I'd like to know.
And it's not Hollywood.
Elwood's just here for the spreadsheets. Well,
but it's not Hollywood. Nobody wants to touch him. Literally, nobody wants to touch you. You're gross.
I hate that word. I still, every time I hear the word spreadsheets, my one eye twitches and I cringe a little bit.
Because it's like that memory of bubbles that won't go away.
No, it's not her. It goes back to fake ass Quack.
Yeah.
and her fake spreadsheet saying that Nicole spent the night. She spent the night. She faked those spreadsheets too. Oh, the spreadsheet issue goes way back, doesn't it, Fakey B? Fucking bitch manipulating those spreadsheets, trying to say she spent the night.
Yeah. So when we add up the numbers that we know are factual, I mean, they have the spreadsheets on the website, and
but how accurate are those spreadsheets anyway? I don't even buy the accuracy of that as far as I can fucking throw them.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure there was some
can we say padded?
Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, he's not out any money. At most, I will give him the 1,300. You're out that much,
and
but
it's not even him that's out the money; it's his friggin' subs.
Right. And so for him to say 17,000, no, show us those receipts. You say you have them, show them.
Yeah,
because you're a
truth
con.
be told, she asked for them, and I mean, as I said when I said earlier, I'm not laughing at Val when I say it, but I'm laughing at the fact that we know he's not going to produce any receipts because he doesn't keep them, because he knows if he keeps them, it's going to show his shady fucking shenanigans.
Exactly. And here's the final point that I want to get across with the whole book thing. If you want to be an author and you write something, let's say you don't have the money to pay an editor. If you write a book and you don't have any money to pay an editor, read that book 10 times and edit it yourself. Go through it, painstakingly. If it takes you a year, it takes you a year. So now you have a book. Now you've reread it 10 times. You think you've caught all your mistakes. You're ready to publish it. You go to Amazon, you open your account, you upload it, you self-publish it, and you start making money. Guess how much that costs that author to do that? Nothing. So anybody on YouTube telling you that they're going to have a second Patreon because, they're technically not asking for money for the book.
Join Patreon now.
Yeah, so it's a scam. Anybody can write a book, and they don't need money from people to do it. The whole idea of making or writing a book and getting it published is to make money then. He's scamming you by asking you guys for the second Patreon, or, oh, I need super chats for this, or he's not giving you anything new. He's been saying the same damn thing for 2.5 years. Save your money, guys. Please. I'm off my soapbox.
Sorry, I'm kind of just doing a couple things there at once.
No, you're fine.
No, I appreciate that, Nicole. Michelle started to come to my lips again. I have no idea why. I love you and I know your name. No, and I really, I know that's something, that a lot of people have been kind of, and I remember when I heard him make that comment about the $17,000 it cost him, of course, me and my apartment, I'm like, shut the fuck up, you fucking lying sack of shit. But I did want to, have you come up and kind of explain it more, in more depth. And sorry, I'm just going to interrupt for a second. Anybody that's wondering, I'm going to definitely be keeping this live up. No reason why I wouldn't be. So if anybody has to go or concerns or not sure, I'm definitely going to be keeping it up. Hi, TJ. I see TJ came in. There's a whole bunch of people that have come in while you've been talking. So I apologize to those that I haven't said hi to, or Nicole hasn't said hi to, that have come in since we've been talking about his $17,000 bullshit claim.
Yeah, can you highlight Elizabeth Brogan's comment, please? Because Elizabeth, you're right. That is.
Don't tell me what to do on my fucking platform, bitch. I'm just teasing.
How what a transition! Now
was that my aggressive bulliness coming out there? So what does she say here? So AD is going to put the documentary towards the book sales. Last time I checked, that was well. That's a good point too, actually, Elizabeth. Yeah. I know I just said that. So what? He just pockets that money because his Hollywood style documentary. Give me a fucking break.
I love Martin on Betamax.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. So I just wanted to say before you get into other topics, Jen, is there anybody in the chat? Did I confuse you with anything? Did I leave something out? Did I?
Oh, Gil Topping. He had I kind of started that because he had a bit of a question. Not sure if you'll be able to answer it or not, but he made it a while back there when he first started. He was asking about the photos used in the books.
Oh, I know that there was initially, and do not take what I say. I'm going off of memory. I believe initially there was some question on whether or not he was able to use some of those photos.
Yes.
And I vaguely recall the family making a statement about that, and I don't remember exactly what they said. However, I did notice that one of the photos was removed in a
I was
later
going to
copy.
say something was removed, and I'm
Yeah,
a little fuzzy from back then too, because that didn't, if I recall, the photo thing happened not long after the release of the book.
Yeah. I mean, Lizzie probably has like an essay on it, so she's
going to correct us very shortly. I have no worries about that.
Exactly. So, but if anybody has any questions, I just want to make sure I answer them, because this community, first of all, we're like a team, and we're all very integral to, getting a bigger message out. So even though I have this little bit of knowledge on it, if I didn't explain something right, or if somebody has a question, I want to make sure I get them whatever answer.
I personally, I mean, I think the fact that, I mean, you do have that inside knowledge has been, I mean, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh God, I can't think of the word. Like it's helped us immensely. And that's not quite what I'm trying to say. Like, it's been invaluable. That's the word I'm looking for. It's been invaluable because we wouldn't have been able to answer any of those questions unless there's other kind of novelists out there that haven't spoken up. But no, you've really been able to provide us information, explain things about his, process and the shit that he's been doing and not doing, what he's been trying to get away with. Like, just in terms of the whole, all those instances when you would try to pull up his book on Amazon, like, I mean, I never understood it, but then when you
see that, Jen?
That shit, but you explained it in layman's terms so that we all understand exactly the fucking shenanigans he was trying to pull.
London Girl, I stopped watching his rankings after the other two books got pulled.
They're all in the toilet. That's all you need to know.
So, I mean, I could make an estimate, but I don't think he's doing very well. I've looked at it periodically. Rankings are finicky. A lot of things go into the ranking. Jen, did you see that bot? Just get it out of there. It's probably Pervy Fraud himself for his latest creepy.
I think somebody got him.
Okay. So I can't say for certain, but I mean,
you don't want your strippers, Alan. Take them back.
Yeah, you pervy fraud. And I was just gonna say something, and what the heck was it?
Thanks, mods, because I'm not doing a good job at watching the chat. I don't even have YouTube even open. I'm already I'm in a panic situation trying to run this part of the ship on my own.
Which, by the way, I don't know why you're so worried about doing your first live. You've been awesome.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Thanks, though. I appreciate that.
You know it's true.
You've been doing most of the talking while I'm back here in a panic state.
Well,
if I click this, am I going to lose everything?
Because let's be real. Are you going to be able to shut me up? I'm just kidding.
No, I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. I appreciate that you had moved a couple things around. I hope you're not going to be in too much trouble for being late to your sister's shower.
No, it's fine. I'm to be honest, I didn't really want to go. So.
Is it okay that you say that on a public platform? Hopefully your sister isn't listening.
No, I don't know. I don't have a sister. It's my cousin, but
your cousin. Sorry. Yeah. See how much I pay attention to you?
Yeah, I know. Rude. No,
at least I remembered it was a baby shower, and I didn't say like your sister's boyfriend's birthday or bar mitzvah or something.
Yeah. Gosh darn it! I really want to remember what the heck I was going to say.
Okay, I'm going to shut up for a second.
No talks. That might remind me. I'm looking at comments because I thought of it when I was looking at comments, and so.
Well, I'm sure it had something to do with Shitlord.
Oh yeah, obviously. Darn it.
Come on, you're on the spot. Under pressure.
I don't remember
Under pressure.
easily when I got pressure on
Under
me
pressure.
like this.
Under pressure. Well, here, why don't we play this while you think momentarily?
Yeah, play something that I can think.
Party till I die with my chin up high. Fuck 'em all, fuck 'em back.
That's right. Well, here, I'm going to, or how much longer are you going to be able to stick around there, Nicole, or do you have to get going?
I mean, I'm okay right now. I'll probably go somewhat soon, but I'm okay for now.
All right, I'm just going to play a quick little video here for about 4 minutes. I need to, well, go to the bathroom myself, and that'll give, I don't know if you want to get a drink. It's just a short video, and then we can come back and go from there.
Okay, yeah, cool.
All right, cool. I'd like to get, I want Nuff to come up if she would.
That was nice, Jen.
Well, I really like that song. Actually, I've got to thank Jess. I mean, I love Elton John, but I have to thank Jess. Miss Granny's watching. She had, I'd never heard this version of this song before, and it wasn't long after I met her, actually, and I went into one of her streams and she played this. This thing hasn't been off rotation since she introduced it to me. So that was for you, Jess.
Oh.
So I think what I'm going to do, I know you had something else that I'm supposed to remind you about Watts books. I think what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to wind it down after this just because it's my first one and I'm still kind of a basket case here. And I think before I really make a complete shit show out of it, we'll wind this first one up on sort of a good note.
Well, if I
time,
will,
because I mean, Nuff can't come up. So I think next time I'll have people up now that I've had a bit of a chance to kind of get familiar. Like other than being in SteamYard as a panel bitch, this is honestly my first time maneuvering and using it on my own platform. And some of you guys are probably going to laugh at me and go, it's not that difficult, Jen. Well, I mean, I'm not used to doing video stuff, right? I'm used to fucking sound engineering. So I'm still a bit nervous. So I'm a little nervous about having people up and screwing things up there. So I think as I said, I want to kind of wind this one down on hopefully a good note. I know you wanted to say something about the Watts book, and I have a little something for Lisa on her birthday when you're done.
Okay, well, first of all, you said you're a basket case, and I have to say you're the most adorable basket case that I've ever known.
You always say that when I'm mad, too, which really isn't good for my bully look.
And also, I'd like to say I'm a proud panel bitch, so I will own that title. Whoever wants to call me a panel bitch, I own it.
Hey, I proudly wear it. And I just quickly want to, before I forget, because I'm so inexperienced, I want to thank Nuff, Happy Thoughts, Amber, Larney. I think Kimberly Faith is in there. All my lovely mods for just doing what you know you got to do. Oh, it's Lady Wytch's birthday. Why did I think?
Yeah,
it was
I was going to say, because I didn't want to correct you, but Lisa was
Damn it.
nice.
You know what? I said that earlier this week. I'm so sorry. I remember asking the girls, I'm like, damn, I can't remember if it's Lady Wytch's or Lisa's birthday. And for some reason, well, I really fucking fail.
Happy birthday, Lady Wytch.
Happy birthday, Lady Wytch. There's the shit show part right there. All this time I've been like, happy birthday, Lisa. I'm so sorry, Lady Wytch. Well, I guess that whole happy birthday, Lisa, it's your birthday. I'm not going to play that now.
So the one thing that I forgot before you played the video, and then I finally
I'm not playing it now because it's not Lisa's birthday.
Well, I meant the last video you played. The thing that I had forgot what I was going to say. So the one last thing I wanted to say, I know that AD's biggest, like, he uses this all the time. He'll say, there's tons of books out about the Watts case. They only attack me. They only, poor him. He's the victim, right? But here's the clue. He's the only one that is a shitbag. He is the only one.
He's the one that started it too.
Yeah, you do not see these other true crime authors doing the crap that he does. They write a book and they publish it. It doesn't involve getting everybody's money, and it doesn't involve making up things, and it doesn't. Yes, I know there's another YouTube creator that has a true crime book out about the Watts that not everybody likes her, but she still didn't do all this shit that he does. So it's not the fact that it's about the Watts case, pervy fraud. It's you. You're the common denominator out of all your failures. I know that sounds bitchy, but it's true. So if you want things in your life to change for the better, stop being a shitbag.
Sounds good to me. And I always remember because as a kid, I would try to pull that shit too. It's like, well, stop doing that, Jen. Well, so and so did it. And I always remember my mom, and I'm sure I said this before. I would say something like that to my mom, and she's like, well, if those same people wanted you to jump off a bridge, would you do that too? Well, I guess no, I wouldn't.
I mean, what bridge?
One I bought, maybe.
All right. Well, I hope I helped.
Yeah, hang on 1 second. Just while I'm pulling something up. Just give me 1 sec here. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Sorry. I kind of had a couple of things going there. I can't talk and click and talk all at the same time. So thank you so much, Nicole. I really, really appreciate you coming up and giving us the inside scoop and ripping his $17,000 cost of his pamphlet to shreds. Really digging that.
Yeah. I'm here for you and this community whenever you guys want me.
Well, you have been, as I said, invaluable is definitely the word. You've definitely been an invaluable addition to the community. I love you. I don't care, contrary to what other people may say, what you may hear. I think this community is still doing okay. We're doing quite fine. Still chugging along. And I certainly am looking forward to the day that pervy fraud and shitlord is removed off social media. That's all I got to say about that.
Absolutely.
So I'm just going to thank you guys so much for joining me on my first Saturday Dark Side series. I'm gonna, as I said, I'm gonna wind it down here. I'm just gonna play. I'm gonna play my last video there that I made from a couple days ago. Again, ripping his shit to shreds, all his bullshit. We'll see. I don't know. I may. I'll have to see how I feel after doing this. I know people are kind of asking if I'm going to do another one. I'm sure maybe once a month. This isn't something, I'll be very honest, that I want to get into doing once a week. It's really actually quite nerve-wracking. And my forte is more making videos. But I mean, I certainly don't mind a once a month kind of come together. Let's see what's going on kind of thing. If you guys are up for it, I'm definitely up for it.
I am. Yeah.
Right
Before you start the video, I just want to say goodbye to everybody in chat. I'm going to head out and get to the, what's that?
Oh, I just said, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. And so, I'm just going to head out and go to the baby shower, but thanks, Jen, for having me.
Well, thanks for rearranging that and coming up. I appreciate it, Nicole.
Oh, no worries at all. I'm glad to be here. All right. Bye, everybody.
Showering.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye, guys. That's only one of you. See how nervous I am?
Okay, bye.
I was starting to say, Lady Wytch, I'm so sorry.
Happy birthday to Lady Wytch. Okay, guys.
I'm so sorry. I was all pleased that I found this little birthday jingle, but it's apparently not for you. It's for somebody whose birthday it's not.
All right.
I do want to wish you a happy birthday, Lady Wytch. All the best in the year to come for you. And guys, thank you so much for joining me. As I said, I am going to leave this up, so no worries there. Thank you to my lovely, lovely mods. And as I said, I'm just going to close out with this little video of mine because, a shameless plug is never a bad thing.
That's right.
So have a great day, guys. Happy Saturday, and I'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.
How you doing? The Wytch case perplexes you, and you're here still after nearly 4 years because you want answers. So do I. Who's the one that's collected all the pieces of the puzzle? I see the whole thing in my mind.
I don't know. I'm making this up as I go.
But first of all, tonight, you need to know the actual protection this woman has had. The number of things that have been washed, deleted, removed, edited, and redacted is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I can now say with full confidence that Chris Wytch did not act alone. He told me that, and all those other people told me that. Every one of them said the same thing. So everyone I just mentioned, and Chris Wytch, all said he didn't act alone. Now, on the other hand, Mr. Rourke says he did. Shanann's family says he did. So you have to weigh up that against that. I mean, what does Rourke know? Next to nothing. He's never made a discovery. What do the parents know? Mainly what Rourke's told them.
So what did they wash, delete, remove, edit, and redact? Well, Dr. Phil did a show where he more or less point blank accused Kissinger of being in some way connected to these events. That episode was removed from everything and taken away.
Say what?
Dr. Phil did a show where he more or less point blank accused Kissinger of being in some way connected to these events. That episode was removed from everything and taken away.
If I was him, I'd shut up. Honestly, if I was him, I'd shut up.
August 13th, 2018. It has been just 2 days since pregnant Shanann Wytch and her 2 daughters, Bella and Celeste, vanished without a trace from their cozy home in Frederick, Colorado. August 13th, 2018. It has been just 2 days since pregnant Shanann Wytch and her 2 daughters, Bella and Celeste, vanished without a trace from their cozy home in Frederick, Colorado.
Even though Chris said, and she said, if they didn't meet, no one would have been murdered. And yet now the family are saying she's totally innocent. To me, that's whooshed. She's whooshed out the equation by Shanann's own family. Any documentary mentioning anything derogatory to NK has been cut. we ourselves got a load of documentary makers and gave them our evidence and said, do you want to make a documentary on the truth? One of them did want to badly, in Hollywood area, went to her bosses, showed them what we found, and they said, we can't touch this case. So you have to say that the people who make documentaries can't do it either.
Some people call it nonsense. Some call it lies. But because it appears in many different forms, I will call it bullshit.
So first of all, I have to get you to understand what law enforcement have done for this lady. I say lady. What they've done for her is redacted stuff, edited stuff, removed stuff, and whoosh stuff that provide evidence that she had any involvement. So you can feel the cover-up, right? You can feel the cover-up. If you're not interested in the case, you don't even know that there is a cover-up because it's covered up. Chris Watts, the monster, killed everyone on his own. That is it. He's in prison where he belongs.
Got it now.
But it's not the end of the story for us, because we see the signs of a cover-up. Now, the discovery's been cut to bits. A lot of the things that point anything at Kissinger have been removed. I think that's part of the deal. She went to great lengths to say about the pawning of a ring, pulling the effing ring, that's gone. Along with many other clues. Now, the discovery's been cut to bits. A lot of the things that point anything at Kissinger have been removed. I think that's part of the deal.
Lies!
This is the D.A. Rourke tune.
So Dr. Phil Lambert, the cuts from documentaries, the family's opinion, the redaction, it's all changed. Why? Why, if this is a proper investigation, why, if she hasn't got a deal, why has all that happened? You know who wants the money, don't you? But you can't have the murder of 4 people and have a woman on a phone call just before the murders, and a woman Googling the couple the year before, and a woman outside the house in Saratoga Trail, evidently by the ping, and not ask her any questions. Unless she's cut a deal. And you've got to decide, are the police stupid, or has she got some sort of verbal deal, some arrangement to be let off? So I'm asking you now, after what you've just seen, does that not prove that she has some sort of, I won't even use the word deal, some arrangement. She has some arrangement that she's given something in exchange to be left alone.
Get your shit together. Get it all together and put it in a backpack. All your shit, so it's together. And if you gotta take it somewhere, you know? Take it to the shit store and sell it. Or put it in a shit museum. I don't care what you do. You just gotta get it together.
All right, and the one thing actually I forgot to play earlier, I just started stepping back to the Dark Side thing for a moment. Dark Side Saturday series. I really didn't watch much of it the first time around because I just can't stomach his bullshit when it comes. Well, I can't stomach his bullshit, period. But that particularly, I couldn't handle. So I certainly haven't really much been watching them. But I had to remember from the Cellmate Secrets episode that played, and I thought of it after I'd watched TJ's video. I think it's absolutely fucking hilarious that Shitlord's using Cherilyn Copycat Cadle as his reputable source when she's one of the biggest flip-flopping content fucking plagiarist people around.
Knowing how heinous his actions must sound, Chris invokes religion into their conversations, as if he's a changed man. But Sherilyn believes that Chris uses religion in an attempt to manipulate her and others around him.
I can remember we were sitting at the prison and he was talking very much about demonic things. I didn't realize until much into the conversation that he was manipulating me into thinking that it was these dark creatures or dark spirit around him that he was blaming for the murders instead of it being him. He was possessed, and that's, I think, how he wanted the narrative to be. He was manipulating me into that, and it almost worked at times.
Yeah, who's manipulating who, eh, Sherilyn Copycat Cadle? Okay, well, with that lovely little blurb from the plagiarist authoress, going to call it a night or an afternoon, evening, day, wherever you might be. I'd like to thank you all so much for joining me and putting up with my shenanigans and my nerves of not steel today. This has actually been kind of fun. Maybe not quite as nerve-wracking as I thought. Maybe I'm saying that because it's almost over, but I appreciate you spending some Saturday or Sunday with me, and you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Party till I die with my chin up high. Fuck 'em all, fuck 'em bye.
See ya.